this is a law, and yesterday we have discussed law of conservation of and law of a constant composition. Now, law number three, law of a multiple proportion. Uh, this law was presented by John Dalton in 1803. According to him, he stated that if two elements combine to form more than one compound, mean two elements are combining and forming a single or more compounds, the masses of one element that combine with a fixed mass of other element are in the ratio of a small whole numbers or simple multiple ratio. According to statement, it's mean whenever two elements compound, they form one or more compound. In this condition, one element having fixed mass, but either it's a simple whole number or it's a simple multiple ratio. Means two elements are combining and giving or forming a two or more compounds. The mass of one element having the fixed mass, but other having small whole number or a simple multiple ratio. How? For example, carbon react with the oxygen. It forms two stable compounds. One is a carbon monoxide and one is a carbon dioxide. We're having a table in which we're having one column related to a compound name, mass of a carbon, mass of oxygen, and mass of a ratio of a oxygen. When carbon, when this carbon and oxygen react together, it will form carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. So it's mean two elements, that is a one is a carbon and second one is a oxygen. They both combine together, they form carbon monoxide as well as a carbon dioxide. Now, mass of a carbon is a 12 and mass of oxygen is a 16. And in carbon dioxide, the mass of carbon is 12, but mass of oxygen is 32. Two atoms of oxygen uh, are in a formula of a carbon dioxide. If we take the ratio of oxygen, simple ratio, that is a 1 is to 2, mean 16, 1, the 16 and 62, the 32, that ratio is a 1 is 2. But mass of a carbon is here fixed. So according to our statement, two elements are combining, this is a carbon and this is oxygen. It gives more than one compound, that is a carbon monoxide and the carbon dioxide. And having one element having a fixed mass, that is a carbon. It having fixed mass for both cases, for carbon monoxide as well as for the carbon dioxide. But oxygen have a variable mass, that is a 16 and 13 according to the formula of a compound. Monoxide having 16 mass and carbon dioxide having the 13. And when we take its we find out the ratio, the ratio of the 16 and 32 is a 1 is to 2. So statement proves that the different masses of oxygen 16 and 32, which combine with the fixed mass of a carbon, that is a 12 gram, our ratio of a 16 is to 32, that is 1 is to 2, which is a simple whole number ratio and obeys the law of a multiple proportion. This is a one example. Now take another example to understand. um, we having another example of a hydrogen and oxygen. We having two elements. One is a hydrogen, one is a oxygen. When they combine with each other, they form two compounds, water and hydrogen peroxide. One is a water, second is a hydrogen peroxide. The formula of a water is H2O and the formula of the hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. Now, mass of hydrogen. Here, in the case of water, hydrogen having two mass, and in case of hydrogen peroxide, it having two. Uh, Actually, mass of hydrogen is a 1. Two atoms of hydrogen are used in a both cases. That's why it having mass 2 in a water as well as in a 2 in a hydrogen peroxide. Now, mass of a oxygen. Oxygen having actually mass 16, and in case of a water, it only single atom of oxygen is present. That's why 16. But in case of a hydrogen peroxide, two oxygen atom means in a present in a diatomic form. So that's why it's a double. 16 in the multiplied by 2, we will get the 32. Then its ratio is again 1 is to 2. The different masses of oxygen, that is 16 is to 32, which combine with the fixed mass of hydrogen 2 grams, the ratio is 16 and 30, and it's simply we can say that is a 1 is to 2. Again, this ratio is proving that or its ratio is a simple whole number and proving the statement of a law of a multiple proportion. So the both examples uh, are giving the same concept about the law of a multiple proportion. Once again, I'm repeating the statement. Now, after the example, now come to our again on the statement. Um, Two elements combine to form more than one compound. The masses of one element that combine with a fixed mass of other element are in ratio of a small whole number or simple multiple ratio. After discussing these two examples, uh, our statement is verified or justified. Uh, See, two elements in both cases. In first case, carbon and oxygen. In a second case, hydrogen and oxygen. They are reacting together. They are forming more than two compound. In first case, we having carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, and in second example, being hydrogen water and hydrogen peroxide. But in both cases, one element having the fixed mass. In the case of example number 1, carbon having the fixed mass. In the case of hydrogen, or example number 2, hydrogen having the fixed mass. But second element having variable means its mass is a some small whole number or a simple multiple ratio. It's a simple multiple ratio. In oxygen, 1 is to 2 in one. Our example number 1, and example number 2, it's again 1 is to 2 ratio. So both these examples give the clear idea about our statement. Okay, now second law of a reciprocal proportion. Now, it's a law number 4 related to law of a chemical combination. This law was present by Richter in 1792 and to till 94. He states when when two different elements. Now, condition is changed in this law when two different elements, we having two different elements like carbon, oxygen, separately combined with the fixed mass of a third element. The proportion in which they combine with one another shall be either in the same ratio or some simple multiple of it. This statement giving the meaning two different elements separately combined with a fixed mass of a third element. Here we are discussing about the story of the three elements and how they are combining. Mean one element having the is a fixed for two other elements. Now how they combine? They combine in the proportion in combining the proportion in which either they are in the same ratio or a simple multiple of it. We can clearly understand after discussing the example. For example, we having two elements, carbon and oxygen. We having two elements, that is a carbon and oxygen separately combined with the hydrogen. Third element is a hydrogen, and when carbon and hydrogen react, they form a methane. When hydrogen and oxygen react, they form a water. And when carbon and oxygen react, they form a carbon dioxide. So according to our statement, we having two elements, carbon and oxygen. And the third element is a hydrogen. When it reacts with both of these elements, now we having three different types of a compounds. One is a methane, one is a carbon dioxide, one is a water. Now let's consider example for further clarification. In this case, carbon, we are using 3 gram of a carbon, 1 gram of a hydrogen, and 3 gram of a oxygen. This is the quantity in grams. So consider when carbon and hydrogen are reacting, and it will form methane, CH4. This is the formula of a methane, CH4 carbon and hydrogen. 3 gram of a carbon, 1 gram of hydrogen react together will form the methane. The mass of a carbon is 12 and the mass of a hydrogen is 1. But here 4 atoms of hydrogen are used here. So that's why 4 is to 4, and when we will simplify, we will get the ratio 3 is to 1. Now, when hydrogen and oxygen are reacting together, they form water. 1 gram of hydrogen and 8 gram of oxygen reacting together form a water, H2O. Again, hydrogen having one molecular mass, but 2 hydrogen atom are here. That's why 2, and oxygen having the mass 16. And we will simplify. We will get the ratio 1 is to 8. This is all about the water. Now, when carbon and oxygen react together, it will form carbon dioxide. Means 3 gram of a carbon, 8 gram of oxygen react together, they form a carbon dioxide. Atomic mass of a carbon is 12, atomic mass of oxygen is 16, but 2 oxygen atom is present there. So 16 plus 16 is equal to 32. So ratio 12 is to 32. Then we will simplify. We will get 3 is to 8 ratio. So from this example, we get that when two elements, carbon and oxygen, separately combine with hydrogen to form methane, water, respectively, it is quite clear that in methane, 3 gram of a carbon combined with a 1 gram of a hydrogen, and in water, 8 gram of oxygen with the same fixed mass 1 gram of hydrogen. Now, we can hydrogen and oxygen combine with each other to form carbon dioxide, and they do so in the same proportion, that is a 12 is to 32, 3 is to 8 parts by mass. So according to statement, we have a fixed mass of a hydrogen but variable mass of a carbon and oxygen. They are reacting in a different conditions. They form a 3 different products: methane, carbon dioxide, and a water. So in see here, hydrogen, the ratio of hydrogen is 1, here is 1, and carbon having 3, and in both condition, and oxygen having 8. Now consider second example of a law of a reciprocal proportion. Here carbon, oxygen, and sulfur. 12 gram of a carbon combined with a 30 gram of oxygen to form a carbon dioxide, and 30 gram of a sulfur compound combined with the same fixed mass of oxygen, that is a 32, get a sulfur dioxide. Now see, this is oxygen and this is carbon, this is sulfur. These three are reacting together in a different conditions. Carbon and oxygen react together, form a carbon. Oxygen is a fixed, it having 1 gram, carbon having 12 gram. They form a carbon dioxide. Atomic mass of a carbon dioxide is at 12, and oxygen atomic mass is 16, but 2 atoms are there, so that's why 32. And we simplify, we will get the 3 is to 8 ratio. Now, when oxygen react with the sulfur, 1 gram of oxygen, 32 gram of sulfur, it will form sulfur dioxide. Atomic mass of molecular mass of the sulfur is a 32, and here is a 32. of oxygen because of our 2 oxygen atom are used. 32 is to 32, and we will simplify 8 is to 8. Now third condition, carbon react with the sulfur, it will form carbon disulfide. CS2 carbon disulfide. Atomic mass of a carbon is a 12 and sulfur is a having 32, 30, having 2 sulfur atoms, that's why it having the 64. So, and it will further simplify, we will get the ratio 3 is to 16. So from above example, we will go toward the statement when two different elements separately combine with a fixed mass of a third element. So the proportion in which they combine with one another shall be either in a same ratio or a some multiple ratio. Look at here. Here it carbon and hydrogen combining with a ratio 3 is to 1, and here have water form is a ratio of hydrogen and oxygen is a 1 is to 8, and here carbon and oxygen reacting, the ratio is 3 is to 8. In this example, the ratio of a carbon dioxide 3 is to 8, and in a sulfur dioxide ratio is a 8 to 8, and here the ratio is a 3 is to 60. These two examples are proving that the ratio is either same ratio or a some multiple of a, it means there is a simple multiple of a each. So both these laws are giving the idea how the elements combine with other, in which ratio, either they are a simple multiple or either they are small whole number. But in yesterday class we have discussed about two laws: law of conservation of mass, and second one is the law of constant composition, and today law of a multiple proportion and law of a reciprocal proportion. These all laws are related to the combination of elements and to form a different compounds. So these all are very important, and they relate to the chemical combinations. Now, after covering the topic laws, now we are having a term molar mass. Molar mass defined as a molar mass of substance is the relative molecular mass expressed in a grams. Thus, the molar mass of a substance has a fixed unit. Mean molar mass of substance is a relative molecular mass. Means molecular mass is expressed in a gram. This term is a molar mass, and it has a fixed unit. For example, we are having ammonia. Formula of ammonia is NH3. NH3 means nitrogen and hydrogen are combining together and form ammonia, and nitrogen, one atom of nitrogen is present, so we are taking one, and mass of a molecular mass of a nitrogen is 14 gram, so 1 is to 14 multiply, we will get the 14 gram. And having the hydrogen, uh, here 3 hydrogen atoms are used, that's why 3 multiplied by 1 gram, and 1 gram is the molecular mass of a hydrogen, so we will get the 3 grams. Then we will add 14 gram plus 13 gram, then we will get the 17 gram. Now this is a molar mass of ammonia, NH3. This is a method how do we find out the molar mass of a different substance, and unit is a gram. So once again repeating, molar mass of a substance is its relative molecular mass expressed in a gram. Thus molar mass, it has a fixed unit. Now next term, mole. A mole can be defined as the molecular mass, atomic mass, and the formula mass of a substance expressed in grams. Means uh, either we having molecular mass, atomic mass, or the formula mass of a substance, we will express in a gram, that it become a mole. For example, we are having 1 mole of a carbon is equal to 12 gram. and 1 mole of magnesium is 24 grams. So another example, for example, we having the water molecule. Here I'm just sharing the two examples. Besides this, we having a lot of examples. For example, we having the water. What 1 mole of water is equal to 18 gram, and 1 mole of carbon dioxide is equal to 44, and 1 mole of calcium carbonate is 100 gram. So either we having molecular mass, atomic mass, formula mass. When we express in a of a substance express in a gram, it become a mole. We having a formula to find out the number of moles. Uh, in your textbook, page number 21, we are having number of moles equal to given mass of substance divided by atomic mass or the formula mass. Once again, number of moles is equal to given mass of a substance divided by atomic mass or a formula mass. By the help of this formula, we can get the number of moles present in a compound. So this is a method to find out the molar mass. Now, next up, Avogadro's number. It is denoted by its symbol is a capital N and A. This is a way how to write Avogadro's number in a symbolic form. So after the name of a scientist, Avogadro's, this name was given Avogadro's number. According to that, the definition is the number of particles, that is, atoms, ions, molecules, or formula units in 1 mole of a substance equal to 6.02 10 raised to multiply by 10 raised to multiply by 23. This is Avogadro's number. Mean how many? It's very in the past and present. It was very difficult to count the particles present either in atom, ions, molecules, or formula unit. For our convenience, for to make work easier, Avogadro's gives the concept of Avogadro's number. So we fix the value, that is a 6.010 is to power 23. Now we having example. 1 mole of a carbon is equal to 12 gram, and 12 gram is equal to 6.02 10 raised to power 23 atoms of a carbon. Second example, we having 1 mole of a water is equal to 18 gram. 18 gram is smaller mass, okay, and is equal to 6.08 10 raised to power 23 molecules of water. So once again, I'm repeating, Avogadro's number is for our convenience. We cannot count the each and every particles of atom, minor molecules, or even formula units. So for convenience, we having the fixed value, that is a 6.08 10 raised to power 23. That is a use for calculate for a useful for our calculations. For beside this, we having many more examples. For example, 1 mole of a magnesium is equal to 24 gram and is equal to 6.02 10 raised to power 23 atoms of a magnesium. So these are the important examples I have discussed with you. So Avogadro's number is very important after the name of the scientist Avogadro. Now we are having the formula mass. Next term is a formula mass. Formula mass of a substance is the sum of the atomic masses of all atoms in a formula unit of a substance. Mean sum of atomic masses of all atoms of a formula unit of a substance. Suppose we having NaCl. This is a compound. Okay? Its formula is NaCl. NaCl. So NaCl, Na having mass 23 and one atom of Na is using, that is our 23 is to multiply 1, we get to 23 am. Here we are using the unit atomic mass unit. Chlorine having the mass 35.5 and having one atom is used here, so multiply by 1 we will get 35.5, and when we sum up 23 and 35.5 we will get the 58.8 AMU. This is the formula mass of a NaCl. By this method, we can calculate the formula mass for any substance. So, formula mass is a defined as simply sum of atomic masses of all atoms in a formula unit of a substance. Mean we having any substance, um, we can calculate formula mass by adding their atomic mass. So we will get their formula mass in a AMU, that is atomic mass unit. So formula mass is a one of the important uh, uh, definition, because by this we can calculate the masses of a different substances. And formula mass can be used either for a molecular compounds or ionic compound. Formula mass can be used for both types of a compound, either it's molecular compound, either it's a ionic compound. But in previous lecture, we have discussed about the molecular mass. Molecular mass cannot be used for the ionic compounds. The difference between molecular mass and the formula mass is formula mass can be used for both molecular substances as well as for ionic substances, but or ionic substance, or we can say ionic compound, but molecular mass cannot be used for the ionic compounds. This is a all about the definitions. It's all about our lecture. Now come toward the home task. First question, explain law for multiple portion with examples. Uh, you give the main heading law for multiple portion and give the statement. Either you can take the statement from my slide, or from you can take from your textbook, and with example you can give one example from your textbook with table. If you are taking the multiple proportion, it's on page number 15. We're having, for example, you have to make that for example, you discuss the description in 2 lines with a tables. 2 tables are present. You will select only one table for the example. Now, question number 2. Explain law for reciprocal proportion with example. Again, statement, and you will choose one example. I have shared with you 2 examples. You can choose only one example. Then next question, define the following term: molar mass, mole, Avogadro's number, and a formula mass. So, all definition you can get from my slide. You can raise screen shot and you can find the answer of these terms.